so you saw the clip. Now let's talk about what happened in the clip through what we call the conflict cycle. This is a picture of it. At the top we have the problem. The conflict cycle begins with a problem. So thinking about the clip, if we asked Bender to describe the problem that he had, what would you think he'd say?
That the principal was a dick.
Principal was a dick. Okay. What else might he say?
The principal was picking on him.
Principal's picking on him. Okay, so that's a couple of ideas. The second piece are the warning signs, okay? Being in a problem situation leads to 3 kinds of warning signs that we have in our body and our brain. If we pay attention to these, we can realize that we're having a problem. And some of this might look a little bit familiar from when we did cognitive self-change. The 3 kinds are the risky thoughts. Remember we talked about those and how to identify those, recognize when our thoughts have risk, the risky feelings, and the physical reactions. So when you think about these 3 warning signs as they relate to the conflict cycle, what do you suppose might be going through Bender's head? What kind of thoughts might he have been having?
I should just get up and leave right now.
Okay, is that pretty risky?
Probably.
Yeah, what else?
School's not worth this.
School's not worth this. Okay, so principal is kind of giving him a hard time and school's not worth this. I should get up and just leave. Risky? Okay, what about feelings? What kind of feelings do you think he was having in this situation?
Angry.
Angry? Yeah. What else?
Embarrassed, maybe?
Maybe embarrassed. Okay. And then what about physical reactions? He's feeling angry, he's feeling embarrassed. What might be going on in his body physically during this situation?
His blood boiling.
His blood's boiling, and what does that feel like? What does that make your body do?
Like tense up.
You're tensed up. Okay. What else?
Like his heart is probably beating faster. And his jaw maybe is clenched.
Okay, so he has some warning signs, right? So if we don't get a hold of these warning signs and use new thinking is the way we do this, these internal kind of experiences we're having, these risky thoughts, these risky feelings, and these things that are going on inside of our body can lead us to act kind of impulsively or out of our emotions, right? We talked about that in cognitive self-change, why it's important to change our thinking when we have risky thinking. So when Mr. Vernon, the principal, is telling Bender to be quiet, his response is to keep mouthing off, right? Where is that up here? Would that be an action?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he took the action, and what happened?
You have
What-
more detention.
More detentions, that would be the consequence. And if you think back to the video, how often did that happen?
A lot.
It went back and forth, right? And Bender had more problems than when he started. So he's going through this conflict cycle many times. And many times, depending upon who was counting, right? The kid in the video, did he count?
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, he did. He said something 7 or 8 if you
Yeah.
count that one or something. Yeah.
So we all have these habits and impulses that get us into trouble. However, it's possible to stop this cycle here and our actions, to stop before we do something by using our problem-solving skills, okay? We don't want to let our risky thoughts, our risky feelings kind of take over. We can remember we talked about, we can take charge of our behavior. We can take charge of what we do by taking charge of our thoughts, right? We can control our thoughts, we control our actions. It gives us power and lets us decide what we are going to do. Mr. Vernon, he knew how to push Bender's buttons, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the goal of problem solving is to stay in control and stop this cycle, okay? you take a look, right here is where we can do that. Right here in between the warning signs and before we take action is where we're gonna work right now. We're gonna work on these problem-solving skills in just a moment, okay?